Imagine. Every dream you had as a child came true. Imagine. You had enough money to live anywhere you wanted, work as much as you wanted, and answer to no one. Imagine you were a millionaire. It's possible. But only if you know how to change your brain.
It was at the library here at Columbia that I wish I spent probably more time than any other student. I lived there practically. But I pulled the book out there, happened to be Who's in America, and it told me something about my professor, Benjamin Graham. And then I looked up and I went to the library and I said, I want to learn more about this because I learned this over here. That changed my whole life. We own Geico now because of that librarian directing me to some other book and then following through on that. It's the chance. I read about 1/5 the pace that Bill does, but I still spend 5 or 6 hours a day reading. I mean, you can learn so much. I particularly love biography. Just to be able to live the lives of these people that have been so extraordinary, the lessons and the discouragements they face, just everything about it. So you can't get enough of reading.
I think anybody could build muscles like that, but it's not to the interest of anybody. I mean, a lot of people go into weight training and just want to do it for fitness or for health and for other reasons like that. Only 5% of the people who are training with weights are doing it for the reasons I did it for, which is, to go into competition, to try to win Mr. America or Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia. And it was just a goal that I had when I was 15.
Why did you start to do it? I mean, were you bullied when you were little, or have sand kicked in your face?
No, we don't have that much sand in Austria. But I tell you, I just got into it because it really felt great doing weight training. I did it for soccer, and like a lot of soccer players do weight training to strengthen their legs. And I think I fell in love with the weight training, or with the feeling of being strong and being big and all that, and I wanted to win Mr. Universe, and it was a dream that I had when I was 15 years old, and it's a dream that a lot of kids have, and that's what the film Pumping Iron is about a dream that kids have, and they make it come true in a film. You can see that, and that's what I did.
Well, although it's a dream that would never come true in my case, supposing I wanted to put a bit of muscle on.
I think one of the really interesting areas of research is the effects of transcendental meditation on the brain. This is interesting because every experience we have impacts the brain in some way. And so research on transcendental meditation shows very clearly the effect that it has on different parts of the brain, including the amygdala, which is at the center of the brain, that's your fear center, the frontal lobes, which is the executive functioning, and on both hemispheres of the brain, which is the so-called analytical and intuitive aspects of the brain. And what they find is, what the research shows, is that during transcendental meditation, there's a strengthening of the connections between the frontal lobe and the back of the brain. This is important because the frontal lobes govern decision-making, planning, judgment, problem-solving, sense of self, ethical reasoning. Everything good about the brain depends upon the connections between the front of the brain and the back of the brain, between all aspects of the brain. And stress rips apart, you could say, as if takes the brain, the frontal lobes offline. That's why. Does a stressed person have good judgment? Does a stressed person solve problems, plan well? No, because the frontal lobe goes offline. During transcendental meditation, those connections are strengthened. During transcendental meditation, the connections between the left and right hemispheres of the brain are strengthened. All parts of the brain connect together during TM. And because of something called neuroplasticity, those connections that we have in meditation last in daily life. And that's why people report that they think more clearly, that they make better decisions, they solve problems better.
Drinking after coffee and caffeinated beverages, especially after 2 in the afternoon, if you're, it helps to us to sleep more efficiently at night. Caffeine stays in the system for about 5 or 6 hours. So if you're drinking coffee and then going to bed, your body's not sleeping as efficiently. So those hours that you do sleep are important. So making sure you're putting down the caffeine, or reach for decaffeinated tea. That could be maybe a decaffeinated green tea could be a way to kind of perk up without using caffeine. Taking study breaks, so every hour or 2, get up and either do some jumping jacks, walk up and down the stairs, get some blood circulating to the brain. That can be a more helpful strategy. As well as doing, maybe alternating the study exercise with the 5 minutes of just moving around, put on a music and dance around, or alternate that with meditation and relaxation. Lower the lights, put on some soothing music, or just take 10 deep breaths. Just some relaxation breathing can actually provide energy, and also help you to get more relaxed when you're about to go to sleep.
It is everywhere. It is in the blinding disk drawn by the sun and on both sides of my unlit cigarette. It is in the outline of capacious domes worn like skull caps by sanctimonious cathedrals. It is in the letter O painted so cautiously on my keyboard and the physiognomy of the number 9 just above it. It is at the blunt end of a pin and in the heart of magnificent sunflowers. Pi truly is everywhere. This is the Pi song. Many successful people used to listen to this song while they grown up. Those people including Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, John Paul DeVoria, J.K. Rowling, Walt Disney, Oprah Winfrey, Andrew Carnegie, Benjamin Franklin, Michael Jordan, Leonardo DiCaprio, Harrison Ford, Robin Williams, Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, Madonna, Johnny Depp, George Lucas, Brad Pitt, Jay-Z, Angelina Jolie, Kobe Bryant. If you wanted to succeed, you can start to listen to Pi song over and over again. It's never too late.
Then 5-3, 42, 11, 7, 0, and 67. We're done. Was that fun? Learning random digits so that you can write to your friends.
Actually, I am Google Translate. Gotcha. And all you've been watched. I mean, are they even real?